Hello, YouTube. How y'all doing this evening? Monday, another Matic Monday, huh? Give me a moment. I'm going to turn the air conditioner on. I forgot to turn it on when I came home. One moment, please. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I forgot how to do this thing, y'all. Hold on. Never mind. I figured I'll be right back, y'all. I got to turn the air conditioner on. Because y'all know if I do not turn this air conditioner on, I'm going to be an old grouch at 52. Y'all, I have to turn my air conditioner off. I forgot to turn it on when I came in this evening. Because I tried to rush and change clothes. I can come on live for y'all. But we got a lot to cover from discussing Netanyahu, who is really named Benjamin. He changed his name and pretended to be a Hebrew. Yeah. Come on in. Hello, Queen Miss Bugs. Hey, Queen. Yes, we got a lot to cover, y'all. A lot. We're going to be discussing Benjamin is his real name. Netanyahu, his real name is Benjamin. So much new updates about the Epstein files. What government Newsom think about the Epstein files. Trump cover-up of the Epstein story just got even worse. There's things that it's not adding up about how Epstein supposedly have been unalived. It's not making sense. Trump is caught on a hot mic, making a criminal deal, caught on a hot mic. Yes. We got more from a victim of Epstein and Donald Trump. A lot is going on. Letitia James, she just got blessed by getting a black judge to cover her wrongful prosecution from Donald Trump. And y'all stop believing that black people are not being picked up by ICE, because you're going to hear from a man that's got interviewed by Don Lemon. He was picked up by ICE, a black man that's been here all his life. His family been here. His family was slaves as well. Well, ICE picked him up and he was questioning, why y'all bothering me? I'm born here. I am a U.S. citizen, raised and born here. His parents was born here after slaves. So that's what's going on. We're going to hear a little something from Kennedy. And Donald Trump is trying to portray Kennedy, Hitler, even Putin. We're going to hear something about Melania Trump. More on the Epstein files. And what is the Federal Reserve? This is America, y'all. This is America. Right now, America is a laughing stock. Even while Donnie is over there in Israel, we get laughed at over there too, y'all. Because Donnie trying to manhandle people to show he's a strong man. And it's not working in his favor. It's not. He gets over there, don't know who people are. The president, which is a female of Italy, he called her the president of something else. Yeah, I mean, it's out of control. And then we're going to get a little history lesson on the truth about Israel, okay? It won't be a long video, but we need to watch it. That's going to be something I probably show more than once on this channel, okay? And there's so much that's going on with the our tax dollars. Israel is benefiting more than the American people, and that is Donald Trump's fault. So let's do some little housekeeping. As you come in, hit that like button, please. If you'd like to support my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers. In my description is my Venmo. Yes, in my description is my Venmo. If you have Venmo, you can send me a gift, a token of love donation that way as well. Can you hear me, Miss Bugs? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Also, if you'd like to become a member, you can get a membership. Memberships start at, for the Ruby's membership, is $4.99. Diamond membership is $9.99. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Please let me know you can hear me in the chat. Miss Buzz, can you hear me? Let me know. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I hope y'all can hear me, because once I get started, starting all over is hard. You can hear me? Let me know you can hear me. Hit that like button, please. It's a heap of y'all in here now. Hit that like button. So we're going to go ahead and start this live. And this is why Netanyahu and Trump are friends. They are both fake. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Uh-oh, can't play music. Sorry, I apologize. Well, this is what it says about Netanyahu. It says, his real name is Benjamin Meliskowski. His family is from Portland. He has no Hebrew DNA. He changed his name so you didn't realize he's a settler. He just like Trump, a conman. That's why those two roll tight. I mean, they tight. They tighter than your shoestrings if you wear sneakers. That's how tight they are. Netanyahu and Donald Trump are two of a kind. And that's why they're friends. They're both conmen. His name is Benjamin. So when you address him, you call him Benjamin, okay? So now we're going to listen to something that Gavin Newsom has to say about the release of the Epstein files, okay? Uh-oh, it's on mute. Hold on, babies. Oh, we can't play music, dog it. I'm going to have to show you the video without the music, okay? This is what Gavin Newsom put together about Epstein and Donald Trump. Donald Trump is never going to outlive this. Release the Epstein files. Release the Epstein files. Melania claims not to have known Epstein first. I'm going to beg to differ on that. Release the Epstein files. Do y'all ever think, I believe we're going to get those Epstein files because Donald can only lie to the American people so long. We're not going to allow Donald Trump to play in our face. We're stronger than that. We're not going to accept it. We do not have to accept it, and we would not accept the abuse of Donald Trump. He's going to release those files because we need them. So Trump cover-up of the Epstein story just has gotten worse. I keep forgetting it's on mute. Hold on, babes.
We just learned that prisoners who are in jail with Ghislaine Maxwell have been told to not speak to reporters about her, and if they do, they'll be punished. According to the Wall Street Journal, when Ghislaine Maxwell first arrived at her low-level security prison, which Trump moved her to, the warden called a town meeting for inmates. She warned that if inmates made threats to Maxwell, put her in any sort of danger, or talk to the press about her, they would be shipped to a harsher facility. And this policy was on display when Christiane Irwin, a 46-year-old Texas accountant who's also an inmate with Maxwell, said in a telephone interview that she could only discuss her in general terms because of the prohibition. One day after she spoke to the Journal, her prison email privileges were suspended, and within days, she'd been moved to the higher security Houston Federal Detention Center. Her lawyer had no idea why she'd been moved. This is part of Donald Trump's attempt to protect Ghislaine Maxwell, keep her quiet, keep her satisfied, so she doesn't say anything that might put Trump in a bad position. Truly, with this whole Epstein story and the way that Republicans have approached it, I have never seen a more obvious cover-up in my entire life. We just learned that prisoners...
It's definitely a cover-up, but what's sad is that Ghislaine Maxwell supposed to be in a high-security prison. She's put in a low-security prison, and a lady that's been there before Ghislaine arrived there in Texas that belonged in a low-security prison has been put in a high-security prison where Ghislaine Maxwell belonged. Donald Trump, how do you explain that, buddy? Tell us. Go change your diaper and come back and talk to us. How do you explain that? Because right now, Donnie, you can go weep in the woods. Not the bushes, the woods, baby. Where the mosquitoes will bite you on your fanny when you use the bathroom outside. You can just go weep, Donnie, because we're not believing you anymore. How does something like this happen? Ghislaine Maxwell deserves and was in a high-security prison. But Donald Trump had Blanche to go to his attorney, his own personal attorney, that he gave a seat in his cabinet, had him to go there and talk to and have her move to the low-security prison from Florida into Texas, where it's low security, and they got a yoga center. She even gets to walk and lead the campus, y'all. She gets special attention with special guests come and visit her there. And I dare the people in that prison to discuss her. Because when one did that actually belong at that low security risk she has been moved to a high security risk where Ghislaine Maxwell belonged. Donald Trump, your cover is blown, baby. You going down. So I'm going to show y'all, hold on. This is one of Epstein victims, and she discussed Donald Trump. Donald Trump, she was there, but Donald Trump was there to meet another girl, but she didn't get to see who it was, but he was questioning her. Pay attention, please.
Aaron, I really appreciate it because I need to say up front that I've waited 3 decades to be able to even be heard about this because the government has not held any of the people I reported accountable.
I can believe it.
So basically the night before I went in, before I began working for Epstein, he called me at very late in the evening and asked me to come up to the Helmsley Palace offices. And I didn't even have money for a subway token. It's kind of embarrassing. So I had to go running up there. And so I told Epstein, I'll be up there. It'll probably take me until like 9. He's like, okay. So I get there and I'm waiting. It's dark. Like there's no light on in the offices. And I thought that was really weird. So I'm seated against the wall in the, and he's got the door closed. And then a few minutes later,
sorry about that. Somebody called while I'm on live.
And I immediately was like, that's Donald Trump. What's he doing here? I'm supposed to be working for Epstein and interviewing with him. Why is Donald Trump here? And he walked up about, a few feet from me and just stood over me in a very imposing way and looked at me like he was in on some secret or something. It was really weird, like smirking, kind of. And I felt threatened, so I made an ugly face. And when I made that ugly face, Epstein walked out from the offices on this side. Trump's standing here, I'm here. And he walks out of his office and he goes, oh, no. He was laughing at me. And he goes, she's not here for you. Follow me, right? And he escorts him in to this other room. And I always wondered, who was she in there? Was someone in there, right? And I have no way of knowing, nothing. But I felt very intimidated because I had on running shorts and I was vulnerable, sweaty, just a nobody in an office with these 2 men. It felt very predatory and uncomfortable. I have to say that when I made that ugly face, he backed off. It wasn't like he
Donald Trump is who she's talking about.
But he made a really vulgar comment following. And I don't know if it was like, like locker room talk in the 90s, the way men were. But he made a joke to Epstein, oh, I thought she was 16. And I thought that was so strange because at the time my sister she was 15 actually. And I didn't think it was funny. Bring me on, Aaron. I really appreciate it because I need to say up front that I've waited.
Telling her story, what she says is that Epstein contacted her. She ran down to where he was. She told him she'd be there by 9:00 p.m. She got down there and it was in a dark room and she just sat there. And then Donald Trump came in where she was. Donald Trump did. So Donald Trump came into where she was, sitting in a dark room, and he was just looking at her. And because she felt awkward, she made a smirk like, kids do. And she said Donald Trump was just staring at her. And Epstein came out of the other room and let him know, no, she's not for you. I got somebody else for you. He took Donnie in the room. Well, whoever was in that room. Who was you going there to see, Donald Trump? Because she was young. And Donald Trump said, before he went in that room where the other young lady was, he said that, oh, I thought she was 16. Meaning the lady I just showed y'all that spoke about her experience with Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey E. Epstein, and Donald J. Trump. This Epstein situation is never going away. Pam Bundy is never going away because all of us YouTubers are talking about it. Don Lemon talking about it. People that's Joy Reid, bigger people. And right now, Fox News is tired of jdvance and Donald Trump. Fox News shut JD Vance down just the other day. What, yesterday? He tried to lie. Everybody's tired of the BS. We're not going to accept what Pam Bundy, Cash Patel, Donald Trump, and JD Vance is trying to force down the American people's throat. We're not going to accept that. We're not. One moment, please. So we're going to watch this video, and this is bad, y'all. Real bad. Hold on. This is real bad. And it's a never before seen Epstein info release. Hold on. This is not a good look, Danny boy.
I can't take it. Can't take anymore.
Fair use. Everything I show is
showing the
fair
people?
use.
Show
Great
the
for
people.
educational
Show the people.
purposes.
This is important.
Great research
Let me try it
purposes.
again. No.
And great for entertainment. We're doing research,
You know,
everybody.
Sometimes you love them, sometimes you want to punch them. That's just life. That's love, right? So this is CBS doing an investigation and uncovering never before seen photographs in Epstein's cell that raise even more questions. Now remember, just to get our timeline set,
Hit the like button, please.
Epstein died when Trump was president the first time. And
In
now Trump's president the second
2019.
time, and is actively campaigning against transparency. That sounded very Candace Owens of me. I'm not saying he did anything on the kill. I wasn't saying he's killing him. That sounded insane. These are two separate thoughts. Epstein died. Trump wanted him to die. Two separate thoughts completely. No, that's not what I'm saying. I just give you the timeline because MAGA will be like almost playing into the idea that he died during Biden's term. I just wonder if that was back during Trump's first
It
term.
never happened during Biden's time.
So, the official story is that he killed himself. And we now have never before seen things that continue to be confusion-inducing.
We're going to turn now to a CBS News exclusive, an investigation related to the death of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. CBS News has obtained 90 jail cell photos from the day Epstein was found dead, some of
It
which
was
have
planted,
never before
y'all.
been seen publicly. Scott McFarlane joins us now from Washington with more on this. Scott,
Listen
what's in the
carefully,
photos? Good morning.
please.
Hey, Tony, good morning. The photos were taken by New York's Office of Chief Medical Examiner, and they raise more questions than they answer. Epstein's body was removed before investigators arrived at Epstein's cell, experts say, should have been treated.
Okay, point one. This is what Jane did off camera. Before investigators arrived, they moved the body? I've watched enough true crime shows to know that it's crucial that two officers raise the little police tape as the detective walks under it and walks up to a body and goes, wow, that was a bad night. As he looks down, or she, at the dead body. And then, as a viewer, you're like, ew, how'd they make it look like a real dead body? I've watched enough to know the body's supposed to be there. Who moved the body? Okay. And just so you know, the reason I started the segment like this was because I don't like feeling this way. I even went through multiple times and said, there's plenty of compelling evidence that this was a suicide. It's just, why are there so many confusing parts of it? I'm so sick of these dumb conspiracy theorists on everything. They're just, everything's a conspiracy. And then this story breaks, and you're like, I don't even know what to say.
Before investigators arrived at Epstein's cell, experts say, should have been treated as a crime
His body
scene.
should not
By
have been
all
moved.
appearances, it was not. On the morning of August 10th, 2019, convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was found dead at the Metropolitan Correctional
Hit
Center
the like
in Lower
button,
Manhattan.
please.
This
Thank
was
you.
the vow of then
Just
Attorney
that.
General Bill Barr.
We will get to the bottom of what happened.
Thank you.
And there will be accountability.
Epstein's death was quickly ruled a suicide. But an investigation of jail cell photos by CBS News, working with forensic experts, has raised serious questions
Thank
about the
you.
New York Medical Examiner and the FBI's work. including a failure to preserve the scene, log evidence, and run basic forensic tests. There are 90 photos in all, showing a cell strewn with blankets and strips of fabric tied to the bed and window grate. Items moved around, including a mattress, which is seen on the floor in an earlier photo, but appears on the bed in a later one. Looking at the metadata, that second photo appears to have been taken at 11:02 a.m. If that's accurate, the scene had been disturbed hours before FBI investigators arrived. Investigators also found several possible nooses, but did not conclusively identify the one that killed him.
What do you make of all these pictures?
All right, then we'll watch this guy. But why all those photos? Why does he have like 12 outfits in his cell? Like, there's a pile of orange jumpsuits.
My daughter used to work at a prison, y'all. They would not allow them to have all those different uniforms in there. You get that one uniform. You do not get several uniforms because they know people can try to, unalive themselves or hurt somebody else. This is fake, y'all. The whole situation is fake. We really, to this day, do not know what exactly happened to Epstein. Is he unalive? Is he alive? And y'all got to remember, Epstein had ties with Israel. Donald Trump was in the White House when Epstein supposedly have committed suicide. Donald Trump, 2019. That was old Donnie boy. Joe Biden wasn't there. Stop the lies, MAGA. Stop lying on President Joe Biden. He was not in office. Your boy, Donnie, was in office. Why was stuff moved around before the ambulance or anybody could have gotten in that cell? Inquiring minds want to know. I want to know. We are being lied to, America. We're not going to be able to watch this whole video because it is so long. But I want to show y'all, those photos showed stuff all over the place. My daughter worked at a prison. That ain't how it go. No. They do not allow you to have several of those in there. No. That's not how it go. We're being fed lies by this cabinet, by the Donald Trump regime. One moment, please. And as I stated to y'all, and I showed you that Netanyahu's real name is Benjamin. So we're going to scoop the doodle on over to some other stuff that pertains to Israel. They're playing in our face in so many ways. We're being lied to by our own government. And AIPAC is Israel. Listen carefully. Listen, Linda, listen. So Nixon is going to make a statement. I want you to take heed of what he's saying. But Donald Trump is down with Israel. Hold on. Let me start it over.
I want to make something perfectly clear. I do not like AIPAC. I don't like it because it tries to tell the President of the United States what to do. And I will never forget. I want to make something perfectly clear. I do not like AIPAC. I don't like it because it tries to tell the President of the United States what to do. And I will never forget.
Netanyahu, Benjamin is his real name, the fake man. He tells Donald Trump what to do. They holding stuff over Donnie. They got those Epstein files, y'all. Even Putin have the Epstein files. They got the real ones, They got the non-redacted photos, videos, all, and they own Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a menace to society. He is putting Americans at risk. Right now, he is owned by Israel. He is owned by Putin. It's amazing that everybody got you by your balls, Donnie. You ain't a man. You ain't no strong man. You a bussy boy. One moment, please. So take a listen to this. This is America. Everything is any of it real.
Island, November 1910. 7 bankers meeting in secret to create America's central bank. We just can't call it that. The 1907 panic nearly destroyed us. Banks failed, fortunes vanished. We want to control America's money supply, create booms, trigger busts, and profit from both. And how will we do that? We'll create money from nothing, loan it to the government, and charge interest. Legal counterfeiting, my friends. But there's a cost. Every dollar we print steals value.
Hit the like button, please.
It's a hidden tax that flows directly to us. And it gets worse. If we ever get off the gold standard, governments can print money for wars. endless wars become possible and profitable. Since Americans hate central banks, we'll call it the Federal Reserve. Sounds governmental, doesn't it? It's not. The president will appoint board members, but we'll pick who he appoints. We'll have 12 regional banks. Looks decentralized, democratic even, but New York banks control them all. That's us. You're probably wondering how we're going to get this through Congress. December 23rd, 1913. Most of Congress home for Christmas. Perfect timing for passing unpopular legislation. I'll publicly oppose our own bill in Congress. They'll pass it thinking they beat Wall Street. We'll fund university chairs, write the textbooks. They'll teach our system as economic science. Beautiful. Every American born after this will inherit debt on money we created from nothing. Generational servitude. The Federal Reserve. Not federal, no reserves. But everyone will think it's their government protecting them.
Good afternoon.
The government is not to protect us. The government, which is Donald Trump and his cabinet, have fattened their pockets. We've been told a lie this entire time. We're paying for something and we're not benefiting from. You want to know your tax dollars really going? Where are your tax dollars really going? Where's your tax dollars really going, America? Watch out now.
Fucking epiphany after what I just learned. Y'all are gonna shit yourselves. You could not fucking convince me that Israel is not trying to take over the fucking world. This is for every fucking person in the U.S. If you're a fucking U.S. citizen, listen to this shit. I don't give a fuck if you're a Republican or if you're a fucking Democrat. Because at this point, when you hear this information, you're gonna realize it's we the people versus our fucking government. And our government of Israel, apparently, AIPAC. Right now, the U.S.'s birth rate is at an all-time fucking low. Okay? An all-time
Listen
low,
carefully where our money going.
And we know why. Because this country fucking blows, and we can't afford to have kids here. Duh. That goes for a lot of other countries, right? There's one country that is thriving when it comes to their birth rates. Take a wild fucking guess. Israel. 3 children for every woman of childbearing age. They have the child, the mother gets a fucking paycheck. And every year until the baby's fucking 18 years old, a monthly check gets deposited into the mother's account. It doesn't stop there, y'all. Every fucking year until the kid is 18 years old, the government puts a check into some other account for that kid. So when they're 18, they can use that towards investments. Now this is where it gets fucked. Their healthcare, their education is heavily subsidized. You know why? Because of our fucking tax dollars. Okay? The hundreds and hundreds of dollars that Republicans seem to think are going towards food stamps and fucking aid for our own people. No. It's going for aid for Israel, not only for weapons to obliterate Palestinians, so that they can put these heavy-ass fucking paychecks into the mother's accounts, encouraging them to have more babies, and then also putting it into the babies' accounts so that they can be investors in the future. Mind you, all of our large corporations, a lot of them are fucking invested by, are fucking owned by Jewish Americans. I was sitting here thinking that maybe the U.S. is so fucking complicit in what's happening right now over there. My bad, y'all. I just realized my fucking windshield wipers were on. Hopefully y'all could hear what I said. I was thinking this whole time that the U.S. was so complicit in this because they want to have more territory in the Middle East, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But now that I'm fucking looking at it, we really are the United States of Israel. So, to fucking summarize, we're working our fucking asses off here in America. We can't afford to have kids, so therefore we have the lowest fucking birth rate that we've ever had. Struggling to make fucking ends meet here in this country. We have starving children here. They're sending all this fucking money to fucking Israel, funding their healthcare, their education, and allowing their women to have numerous fucking kids and getting paid for it. And then the kids, the Jewish children, get to grow up and have a fucking fat-ass bank account where they can make investments so that they can invest here in America and they can grow more here in this country. What the fuck? I just had a fucking epiphany after what I just learned.
I'm telling y'all, Donald Trump has pimped us out. He pimped America out. We're sinking more. The middle class is not middle class right now. We're all pretty much poor. Even the billionaires are not where they were before Donald Trump. Now, the one that got billions and billions, but the ones that's new billionaires, millionaires, They're feeling some of the brunt of the economy too. We're taking care of other countries except our own. And whose fault is it? Donald Trump? One moment, please. Take a history lesson.
I'm going to show you something, okay? I'm going to show you
This
something.
is history you need to
that
pay
I think can
attention
help
to.
you contextualize what's going on around you. This
I remember
is an
this when I was in
international
school.
world
I'm old.
atlas
I'm
published
52.
by Rand McNally.
They're playing in our face, America.
Here you go. Published in 1941.
Israel was
for the
never
first
in
time.
this book.
In 1947, most recently. That's what this edition is, okay? I want you to look at these flags.
Listen.
See if you notice an Israeli flag or a Palestinian flag. You won't. Because at the time that this was published, there was no Israel. Look right here. Where's Israel? It didn't exist. It was called Palestine.
The white man created
So we're going to
it.
go to page 125.
Netanyahu his name is Benjamin. It's all fake.
And we're just going to take a look. Okay? Palestine. Now, I want you to look at the names of the towns. They're all in Arabic.
Hello, Queen Victorious one.
If you want an example of what happened to all of these towns,
Let me know if
after
y'all see
1948,
Till in the chat,
look up
please.
Tentura. It was a fishing village that was depopulated, forcibly, ethnically
Hey,
cleansed.
Kayla Swan.
Okay? You don't see the West Bank here, do you? Because this is Palestinian territory. All of it. Palestine. And yes, you're going to see Judea here. Because prior to the invention of the so-called State of Israel, Jews, Christians, and Muslims lived in peace in Palestine. I want to show
Hey,
you something.
Queen Marcella.
Okay? I'm going to show you
We're going to watch
something
this one more time
that
because
can
I
help
want
you
y'all to understand.
contextualize what's going on around you. This is an international world atlas published
I'm
by
52.
Rand
I
McNally.
remember this. I don't know if y'all know anything about it, young babies.
Here you go.
Queen Marcella, I'm sure she know about this.
Published in 1941 for the first time, and 1947.
We're more
Most recently.
seasoned.
That's what this edition is, okay?
Pay
I want you to
attention.
look at these flags and see if you notice
Israel is
an Israeli
man-made by the
flag
white man.
or a Palestinian flag. You won't.
Benjamin Yahoo is
Because
fake. His
at
name,
the
well,
time that this was published,
his name is
there
Benjamin.
was no Israel. Look right here. Where's Israel? It didn't exist. It was called Palestine. So we're going to go to page 125. And we're just going to take a
Ethnic
look.
cleansing, how they try to do South Africa.
Okay? Palestine. Now, I want you to look at the names of the towns. They're all in Arabic. If you want an example of what happened to all of these towns after 1948,
Just Google
Look up
it, y'all,
Tentura.
please.
it was a fishing village that was depopulated, forcibly, ethnically cleansed. Okay?
And this is a
You
white
don't
woman
see
telling the
West Bank
truth,
here, do
y'all.
you? Because this is Palestinian territory. All of it. Palestine. And yes, you're going to see Judea here. Because prior to the invention of the so-called State of Israel, Jews, Christians, and Muslims lived in peace in Palestine. I want to show you something.
Netanyahu is a fake. Israel, man-made by the white man. Netanyahu is from Poland. He's not Hebrew. I showed y'all something last week about in the week before pertaining to this. All right? Just a moment. So, give me one moment, y'all. I've saved so many videos. I'm trying to get everything in that's the most important thing. One moment, please. Hold on. Let's see. This says, let's see what this is. This probably has something to do. It's about Israel too. Hold on, okay?
Let's watch this video.
Why is the United States getting involved with Israel and Iran? I'll tell you why. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Don't worry, this will only take a couple minutes. See, Trump, Netanyahu, John Hagee, Jared Kushner, and friends are manufacturing the fulfillment of biblical prophecy.
Yep, it's all fake.
They're staging it, like a live-action end times Broadway show.
They think they can beat God, outsmart
Trump
God.
moves the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. That's not random. That's Zechariah 12:3. Jerusalem will become a burdensome stone for all nations. They're using scripture like a script. And here's where it gets wild. Evangelicals straight up call Trump God's chosen vessel. They compare him to King Cyrus, Isaiah 45. Cyrus is a pagan king anointed by God to fulfill prophecy.
Thank you, Queen Victorious One.
He allowed the Jews to build temple number 2. Trump was the 45th president. Coincidence? That's the kind of symbolism they eat up. They're casting him as the modern Cyrus, the one who prepares the way for the third temple. Meanwhile, John Hagee and the Christians United for Israel crowd losing their minds. They're clapping like seals every time Trump does something that nudges Israel closer to temple reconstruction. And you think it's about politics? Nah, it's ritual. It's myth in real time. Then there's the red heifers. Real ones. Bred in Texas, flown to Israel in 2022. Numbers 19. The Temple Institute wants them to purify the priesthood. That's the last step before they start building. And Jared Kushner,
thank you,
Trump's golden boy and Orthodox Jew, brokered the Abraham Accords. Sounds peaceful, right? Nope. It's setting the table for Daniel 9:27. He will confirm a covenant with many, aka Antichrist energy. And if you think this ends with temple stones and golden menorahs, think again. They're already pushing for the third temple. 2 Thessalonians 2:4. He'll sit in God's temple and proclaim himself to be God. Sound familiar yet? And while everybody's distracted watching this messianic soap opera, the real beast system is already installing itself behind the scenes. Revelation 13, the mark of the beast. It's not a tattoo, bro. It's digital ID, QR codes, biometric scans, central bank digital currencies. It's the system that says, take this mark or starve. That's Revelation 13:17. It's here right now, and most of y'all are cheering it on. They're not waiting on prophecy. They're building it. They're not serving God. They're playing God. Trump, Netanyahu, Hagee, Kushner, all of them. This isn't the end of days. It's the launch of a global empire. But hey, go ahead.
Y'all better listen. MAGA does not even realize they plan into something that God has no part in. Man-made. One moment, please. I'm going to play this. I think we watched a part of it not too long ago, but I'm going to play it anyway. One moment, please. I'm going to play it again just in case. Just in case some of y'all didn't hear it.
3 children for every woman of childbearing age. They have the child. The mother gets a fucking paycheck.
Oh, it's so much worse than people realize. I'm convinced if Americans knew what Israelis have, they would lash out.
Listen,
rationally.
please.
Before we get all the way into it, they are the largest recipient of U.S. aid at around $320 billion, with at least another $21.7 billion in the last 2 years. Let's just do a quick comparison between what Israelis get and what Americans get. They get 15 weeks paid maternity leave. We get 0. They also get bed rest benefits.
We're paying for all of this, America.
You need to be on bed rest. You'll get paid for that. In the United States, no, you won't. And they also have universal health care in Israel. We do not have that in the United States.
And we
Plus,
are paying for
once
it with
you
our
have a
tax
baby,
dollars.
They just give you money. You get a birth grant. just for having a baby. As an American, can you even imagine just being handed $600 for having a baby? Instead of, paying ridiculous amounts of money. And these are numbers from 2017, so it's significantly more expensive now. But if you're Israeli, everything about your hospitalization is paid for. And if you're lucky enough to have twins, they're just giving you $3,000. And then you also get paid every month just for having a kid. If you have one kid, you get $618 a year, but the average Israeli family has 3 kids. They're getting $2,100 a year. I don't know, my fellow Americans, what could you do with an extra $2,100? And those are just the benefits for being pregnant and having kids. You're gonna freak out when you see how much money they get from their government. There's a reason so many Israelis have New Jersey and New York accents. It is good money to be a colonizer. You want your brand new colonizer absorption basket? They're gonna give you your first cash payment at the goddamn airport. How much are you gonna get for a family of 3 to help you settle in? Just $21,000. And if you're struggling to find work while living in someone else's home, no worries. A family of 3 can get $5,000 paid out over 6 months. Don't forget, they get college for free. We do not. I haven't even gotten to how much their rent is subsidized. You're going to be so upset. But I wanted to remind you that as Americans, we are subsidizing them to the tune of about $11 billion a year. I don't know, it kind of seems like they can afford their own goddamn bombs. We don't have any of those benefits, and our leaders keep saying we can't afford those benefits, but somehow we keep having money to give it to them.
Israel, 3 children.
Why do we continue to accept that? Y'all, we don't have to accept that. I'm moving towards them. They got to impeach Donald Trump. But just impeaching is not going to do it, because if they just impeach him, then we would still have jdvance. So let's see what amendment it is that we need. There's an amendment that we need. Let me see. I got to find it in here because I saved it. Well, anyway, I'm going to show you this about Israel. Then I got something about that, because it's a particular amendment that gets rid of Donald Trump and his entire cabinet. But let's listen to some more Israel. Trump landed in Israel.
It's a little after midnight. I was gonna shut down, but I saw this.
Fat boy Dunning. He wear that long tie to hide that fat stomach. That's his daughter there and her husband there. He has already been tied into Israel. His son-in-law.
I don't care what anyone says, but I will forever be creeped out regarding his relationship with his own daughter, Ivanka. I'm not going to stay up to watch what they have to say right now, so let's hope the world doesn't burn from now until morning. It's a little after midnight. I was gonna shut.
Yeah, the way they burned down that lady's house in South Carolina. Yeah. We know who did it. We know. Her husband had to jump from the 2nd floor window to get out of that burning home. The house burned to the ground. While she was out walking her dog, her house went boom. She's the one that told Donald Trump no. So, let's take a listen to this. Secret Charlie Kirk's text chain. And it had to do with Israel, y'all. Hold on. I got a lot on that. Just a moment, everybody. Hold on.
Covering in detail the aspects of the Charlie Kirk killing. And what became very clear
hit the like button
is that the official story makes less than no sense. It's actually insulting to everybody's intelligence. Even if you're paying minimal attention to the story, it is insulting to your intelligence what Kash Patel and the FBI are trying to get away with, what the official narrative is. So as we pointed out a number of times, according to the official story, he changed like 3 times.
Yep.
Nobody can explain why. According to the official story, he assembled and disassembled a weapon, 30-06, an old 30-06. It's very difficult to assemble and would require a tool and time. He disassembled it and reassembled it like 3 different times. Even at one point, allegedly doing the shooting, disassembling it instead of just running, disassembling it, putting it in his backpack, running into the woods, and then reassembling it. It doesn't make sense. That shit does not make sense. And those are just some of the things that don't make sense. The decoys in the audience don't make sense. On campus with a pellet gun that looked like a real
We're going to speed this up because it's so much I got to show y'all.
There was USA, and Charlie had rejected that. Charlie had rejected a trip to Israel. There were donors who were really pissed at him for having Dave Smith and Tucker Carlson at these TPUSA events and sort of entertaining these more anti-Israel right-wing ideas as opposed to the typical, old school neocon right-wing idea of like Republicans always support Israel.
Hit the like button, please. Thank you.
It's just a lot of stuff that's sketchy. Well, guess what? We just got some new text messages that were released by Candace Owens. Now, what's interesting, I know Candace Owens by herself is not a great source. That's a fact. However, this was actually verified by Charlie Kirk's best friend and business partner, which I'll show you in a minute. So here are texts, I should say, in a group chat that Charlie sent 2 days before he was killed. Ready? Charlie said this. Just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Ugh. Charlie says, Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Now, let me just pause to point out.
Pay attention, people.
What does it say about Charlie?
Hit the like button.
As long as he was getting money from pro-Israel donors, he was willing to be a pro-Israel sycophant. That tells me he's a whore. He's a political whore. And you can pay for his opinions, right? Billionaires can pay for his support. That's what that tells me. And that's inevitable. Don't even try to weasel out of that. That's just a fact. That's the inevitable conclusion. That is the basic logic of what he's saying.
Thank you, Queen Victorious One.
Yeah, sure.
Let me know if you see Teal in the chat, please. Thank you.
They just cut off $2 million, so that gives me more incentive to get away from the pro-Israel cause. Well, I don't know. The thing that should have given you the incentive to get away from the pro-Israel cause was maybe the genocide that's been live streamed in front of our eyes for the past 2 fucking years. Maybe that should have been the thing, not I lost $2 million from a donor. But having said that, this is ironclad proof that he was, according to him, in his own words, I'm leaving the pro-Israel cause. Now, if you're Netanyahu and you're Israel, and you look at this, Netanyahu has said publicly, the most important thing for us is to make sure we hold the Republican voters, the Republican Party. So if we lose Republicans, we lose everything, right? Because Democrats are gone. Democratic voters fucking hate you. They're never coming back.
Thank
we
you.
hate the fucking genocide.
Thank you, Queen Victorious One.
They've come out as very right-wing. Likud and Netanyahu used to pretend to be bipartisan. Now they're very, very right-wing. And polls show young Republican voters are more anti-Israel than pro-Israel. It's not by a crazy margin. It's like maybe 55% or so are more anti-Israel than pro-Israel. But Netanyahu looks at that, and so in his mind, he thinks the future of Israel is tied to continued U.S. support. We've already given them $38 billion of support. The future of Israel is tied to continued U.S. support, and the continued U.S. support needs to come from one of the 2 major political parties, the Republicans. And so the Democrats are gone. We have to keep the Republicans. Young Republicans are turning on us. So what would be very important in his mind? I don't know, maybe the head of the youth wing of the propaganda movement for the Republicans, namely Charlie Kirk. Like, that was his job.
Hi, King Richard Crosby.
Republicans. That's basically his job. I'm a wing of MAGA that's doing the dirty work and the propaganda efforts to keep young people right-wing and on board. And if Charlie Kirk were to go full Dave Smith or full Tucker Carlson, I think Netanyahu views that as an existential threat to the project of Israel. I think he does. Because if you know Democrats...
I'm going to cut it short because that video is so long. I'm going to sum it up for you real quick because we got so much together today. Netanyahu and Donald Trump was not pleased with Charlie Kurtz. Charlie Kurtz was saying release the Epstein files. Dunny boy didn't like that. No. Netanyahu didn't like that Charlie Kurtz was no longer going to be putting out his propaganda. So MAGA, does it answer any of your questions? Does it answer any of your questions, MAGA? I hope it does, because there's more coming. Let me take a sip of water, y'all. One moment. What is good? Hit that like button, everybody. Also, if you'd like to donate to my channel, you can send me super chats and super stickers. In my description is my Venmo and my PayPal. So if you have Venmo, you have PayPal, you can support me that way as well. But send me a super chat, send me a super sticker. Let me know I'm doing good. Donate to my channel, baby. So we're going to continue. This is another reason Charlie Kirk was targeted. But never forget, he refused to stop talking about the Epstein files.
Kirk was getting $2 million a year from the Shillman Foundation. The Shillman Foundation is the main source of Islamophobia in the United States of America. It's a big rich Jew, the Shillman Foundation.
Shillman Foundation, wow.
Yeah.
Shillman Foundation.
What happens 48 hours before Charlie Kirk is killed, Shillman announces he's kicking Charlie out. No more money. That was a nail in his coffin. That was one nail among many in his coffin. So what are we talking about? A guy
that
who
affects
just
Donnie
stumbles
money.
into something, going around the campuses, talking to people, gets a big following, and suddenly the money starts to pour in, and Charlie starts to realize money means control. Shillman Foundation, so you got to bash Muslims.
Charlie was told to bash Muslims. He didn't want to run that propaganda anymore. They wanted him to get rid of, oh God, my memory is lapsing. The other dude, what is his name? The other white guy that started waking up ahead of time before Charlie. Charlie was talking about the Epstein files. Donnie didn't want that anymore. Charlie kept saying, release the Epstein files like we are saying it. Release the Epstein files. Charlie is gone right now. He's in the ground. So more on Charlie, just a little something more about Charlie Kirk. Hold on.
Why would Kirk be targeted? Well, Turning Points USA, the organization Kirk leads, wasn't just another conservative nonprofit. It was one of Israel's most powerful assets in America. It shaped millions of young conservatives into loyal Christian Zionists. Without it, Israel's U.S. lifeline would completely collapse. Now, according to the Gray Zone, pro-Israel billionaires tried to buy off Turning Points with a $150 million infusion, but Kirk pushed back. His support for Israel began to waver over this summer, echoing the shift we've been seeing across the entire MAGA base. We learned from Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson that Charlie was undergoing a spiritual awakening. He began to question Israel's policies, calling Netanyahu a bully and warning of ethnic cleansing in Gaza. He said he feared for his life. He invited guests critical of Israel onto his show and even warned Trump not to bomb Iran on Israel's behalf. At Turning Points USA's 2025 Student Action Summit, just a couple of months ago, Kirk gave the stage to speakers who openly discussed Jeffrey Epstein's ties to Israel and Israel's role in the Gaza genocide. Kirk crossed a red line. So why would Kirk be targeted? Well, Turning Points USA, the organization Kirk leads, wasn't just another conservative nonprofit. It was one of Israel's most powerful assets in America. It shaped millions of young conservatives into loyal Christian Zionists. Without it, Israel's U.S. lifeline would completely collapse. Now, according to the Gray Zone, pro-Israel billionaires tried to buy off Turning Points with a $150 million infusion, but Kirk pushed back. His support for Israel began to waver over this summer, echoing the shift we've been seeing across the entire MAGA base. We learned from Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson that Charlie was undergoing a spiritual awakening. He began to question Israel's policies, calling Netanyahu a bully and warning of ethnic cleansing in Gaza. He said he feared for his life. He invited guests critical of Israel onto his show and even warned Trump not to bomb Iran on Israel's behalf. At Turning Points USA's 2025 Student Action Summit, just a couple of months ago, Kirk gave the stage to speakers who openly discussed Jeffrey Epstein's ties to Israel and Israel's role in the Gaza genocide. Kirk crossed a red line. So why would Kirk be targeted? Well, Turning Points USA, the organization Kirk leads, wasn't just another conservative nonprofit. It was one of Israel's most powerful assets in America. It shaped millions of young conservatives into loyal Christians.
MAGA, I hope this helping you get some of your answers, because you need to wake up. The red Kool-Aid fried your brains. While Donnie's brain's been fried by McDonald's and Burger King, well, his red Kool-Aid that you've been drinking, and his poop and his urine that you've been drinking and eating has fried your brain. Wake up. Wake up, America. One moment, please. This is disgusting right here.
USA will continue to fund Israel during the government shutdown while at the same time delaying payments for military and federal workers. You heard that right. Officials just confirmed that funding for Israel will not be affected by the government shutdown. This is because aid to Israel is considered essential, meaning that it is exempt from being withheld during the government shutdown. Let me remind you that it is estimated that almost 2 million federal employees will not be paid during this government shutdown. This includes jobs like TSA workers, scientists and engineers, doctors,
And Donald Trump
nurses,
does not
park
care.
rangers, Social Security workers. All of these people will be going without pay during the government shutdown while Israel will continue to get aid. Need I remind you that this is the second
Hit
week
the like
of the
button,
government
please.
shutdown.
Thank
What's
you.
going on? I thought this administration was America first. Make America great again. I feel like at this point it's more like Israel first. Instead of the United States of America, it should be called the Divided States of Israel. But there you have it, guys. Yes, the USA will continue to fund Israel during the government shutdown. Let me know what you guys think. The USA...
We're in a government shutdown. Israel is living it up while the American people are sinking in debt. We can't afford food. We can barely afford mortgage and rent. We can't afford vehicles. We can't even barely afford the gas. But Donald Trump and his regime are affording, with our tax dollars, Israel everything they need. They don't pay for health insurance. No. They receive a subsidy every month for having children. While our youth in their 20s and 30s, some in their early 40s, refuse to have children because they cannot even afford to pay for their rent. They can't even afford to pay back student loans, which it should be free for our children. It's not. No. So y'all sit around and want to blame black and brown people, honey. They're paying to go to school too. They got student loans. Ain't nothing free around here. They say the best things in life are free. Well, Israel know about it, but we don't in USA is sinking and Israel living it up off our tax dollars. Contact your senator's office, a Republican senator office, and let them know we ain't going to do it anymore. I know people right now have decided to exempt taxes this year. They said they're not going to pay any more taxes till Donald Trump is out of office. People are tired. They have grown so tired they're willing to put their own livelihood at risk. But they say they'd rather eat now than fund Israel. One moment, please.
Right now, we're looking at everything through their wallet and their bank account, and they're going, the price of food has not gone down. They're saying rent has not gone down. Houses are still unaffordable, and now health insurance premiums are going to hike.
When Marjorie Taylor Greene says something Democrats applied, you can't help but wonder what universe are we living in?
Marjorie Taylor Greene is woke
now.
now.
Government shutdown hinges on health care, specifically the one issue that does have a track record of being kryptonite to the GOP, which puts Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the most divisive figures in Congress, suddenly in line with Democrats, and not just any Democrats, but the top of the leadership ladder.
As Marjorie Taylor Greene herself has acknowledged, tens of millions of people are about to experience dramatically increased health insurance costs.
That sound you hear is the sound of political lines being blurred, or maybe just bent long enough to be useful. At the center of it all, Obamacare subsidies. They expire at the end of the year, resulting in a huge premium spike for millions of Americans. In some cases, by...
It's time to make a choice, America. Will you continue being led by a man that made these kind of grades in college? Or are you going to wake up and take our country back? You said Donald Trump is a great businessman. Not. He filed bankruptcy 6 times. Don't give me that all businessmen do that. That's a lie. This man is not high IQ. Look at his grades. That's low IQ. D's, F's, C's. This is Donald Trump's grades when he was in business school. Don't give me that. Don't give me that about a bankruptcy thing. Come on, America. You got to be quicker than that, and you got to be smarter than that. My hair's all in my face, y'all. Hold on. There's no way you're going to continue letting this happen to you. He's lying to you about his health, too. I'm going to show you that, and we're going to get out of here. Donald Trump is lying about his health. He's lying about being a high IQ. I just showed his grades. I've showed you them grades before. We're being lied to. He's producing money, lump sums of money to Israel and taking from us taxpayers while we over here struggling in our own country. Netanyahu is not a real man. He's from Poland. He is not a Hebrew. His name is Benjamin. Now, I can't say the last name, but it's a Poland last name. Come on, America. Wake up.
Morning, y'all. So I woke up to find this tweet where old Yamtit seems to be confused that he was actually the president during the insurrection. And so I thought, well, has he got a little bit of the dementias? Is the organic brain syndrome or something kicking in? And then Dave shows me that this guy just got back from another one of his checkups, and supposedly he's healthy as a horse and right as rain. So it has been confirmed for me that he is indeed a dumbass motherfucker. And if you guys would just take a moment with me and say a little prayer, and if you're not religious, maybe just offer up some words to the universe. And
hit the like button, please.
If you believe in one that suits your soul. So I'm going to close my eyes. Dear deity or universe as a whole, please save us from the ignorance, arrogance, and audacity from a dumbass motherfucker. In your name.
Amen.
Thanks, y'all.
That letter, his doctor told the truth about Donnie. He is lying to you, MAGA. I don't even know what else to say or put it to you. The man is lying to you.
Has the Epstein files. They have all the Epstein data. Not only that, they have all the other blackmail files because Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were just one of dozens and dozens of sleeper cells that exist. You got Mossad sleeper cells all throughout the United States, ready to commit assassinations. They've got the blackmail on everybody. A lot of senators and congressmen, a lot of these polytricksters, they have them on audio and video, saying and doing the most egregious things. And this is why America's bent over a barrel. And they want you to fight one another instead of fighting the system.
Fight the system, America. We must fight this system. I don't know what else to tell you. We got to fight the system, y'all. We cannot stay in this hole. Before 2026 get here, people going to be already lost their homes. Babies hungry. More ICE people going to be attacking people. Oh, let me show that video right quick before we get out of here. Of this black man. I'm trying to warn my black people. ICE is after us real bad. They don't care about you. ICE is endangering black people and brown people. I'm going to show you this and we're going to get out of here. Just a moment, please. What I didn't show you today, I'm going to show you tomorrow. Black people are endangered by Trump and ICE. We need to sue Donald Trump in his cabinet. Take a listen. Do not believe the people on YouTube saying they are not targeting black people. It is a lie.
The word ICE on their back, so I knew who they were. And I asked them, why are you guys taking me? I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm not an illegal immigrant. And I was told to shut up and just follow instruction. I did as I was told. When we got to the facility, I again tried to tell them, look, you got the wrong person. I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm not an illegal immigrant. Again, I was told Shut up. I tried to tell them, I've got everything in my backpack. My birth certificate, I got my ID.
Why'd you have it in your backpack?
I had some business to take care of with the Illinois Department of Public Aid. I went there earlier in the day.
So at no point did they allow you to show your birth certificate or any identification?
They didn't want to see nothing.
Well, I've heard people say they're not just rounding people up, they're getting identification. They're not being rough with people. What do you say?
They're lying. They're not checking IDs. The building behind me was the target, was the building that they were targeting.
This building right here, the orange brick building?
Yeah, I couldn't understand why they were at my building because my building is not there. I'm a block over in the middle of the block. I didn't see any reason for them to be bothering us.
They were just scooping people up randomly?
Yeah, people that were just hanging out here were all rounded up as well.
It didn't matter, Latino.
Didn't matter what color you are. They were scooping people up.
But it was black and Latino. What time was this?
This was close to 10:30, perhaps.
At night.
At night.
So you were out here in the darkness doing with all this happening.
Yes, we were in the back of a moving truck.
Were there seats in there?
No, it's like the trucks that you use to load your furniture.
Like a U-Haul, I guess.
It was a budget rental truck.
Budget,
so you
okay.
Had to stand up with to get there?
Well, some people were able to sit down, but most of us stood up because there were, it was too many people for everybody to try and sit down.
What were you holding on to?
Each other.
Were you rumbling around in the back of the truck? Anybody falling over?
We managed to maintain because with the amount of people that we had in the truck, if somebody was
hit the like button,
fall,
please, y'all.
Enough people to break that fall.
How many people?
I'd say we had about 40 or more people in that truck.
This is America.
They had the word ICE on their back, so
this is America. What black and brown people are saying are real. Stop discrediting what they're going through. This is America. We must take our country back. We got to figure out a way how we can sue Donald Trump. None of this started happening till Donald J. Trump got in office. He has turned things around so bad for black and brown people trying to put us back in slavery. We will not go back. I love y'all. Take heed to everything I've shown you today. Please. It is imperative that we fight back. And it is imperative that y'all hit that like button before you head up out of here. Come on, hit the like button. I love y'all. God loves you. God doesn't care if you black, white, purple, green, brown. He loves us all. And because God loves us all, we got to take care of each other. I come here daily and I take care of you and give you the latest that's going on with Donald Trump and his cabinet in Israel. Hit that like button. Show me love. I work hard. I got so much I didn't even have time to show you all of this. I love you. God loves you. Goodbye.